Started from the bottom with the knowledge of a queen. Graduated from the dollar store, my degree's clean. Flipped the tassel to the left, call it Dollar Dream. Fake diploma, real hustle, ruling the scene. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. I ain't no dummy cause I'm Kuma Moladi. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. Flipping these pages, now watch me Kuma Moladi.
Used to hustle books, now I'm hustling beats. Don't say the flow more, but I'm running these streets. Start slick, stay quick, nobody facing me. Got my grind from the grind, ain't no wasting free shit.
Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. I ain't no dummy cause I'm Kuma Moladi. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. Flipping these pages, now watch me Kuma Moladi. Stacking them pennies, but now I'm stacking racks. Fake degree in hand, made it with no sad backs. Hustling on the grind, I make this paper stack. Dollar store diploma, but I'm never looking back. Haters gonna hate, but I just celebrate. From bargain deals to meals, on a silver plate. Shorting with my style, destiny's my fate. Kuma Moladi, I'm the one they imitate. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. I ain't no dummy cause I'm Kuma Moladi. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. Flipping these pages, now watch me Kuma Moladi. Stacking them pennies, but now I'm stacking racks. Fake degree in hand, made it with no sad backs. Hustling on the grind, I make this paper stack. Dollar store diploma, but I'm never looking back. Haters gonna hate, but I just celebrate. From bargain deals to meals, on a silver plate. Shorting with my style, destiny's my fate. Kuma Moladi, I'm the one they imitate. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. I ain't no dummy cause I'm Kuma Moladi. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. I ain't no dummy cause I'm Kuma Moladi. Dollar store degree, my hustle so superior. Bright mind, sharp grind, climbing up the interiors. From the block to the stage, they be knowing my name. Kuma Moladi, yeah, I'm switching the game. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. I ain't no dummy cause I'm Kuma Moladi. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. Flipping these pages, now watch me Kuma Moladi. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. I ain't no dummy cause I'm Kuma Moladi. Kuma Moladi, Kuma Moladi. I ain't no dummy cause I'm Kuma Moladi.
Ain't no game, babe, I'm rooted like the trees, yeah. Gonna rise above, watch me claim my streets, babe. Gonna rise above, watch me claim my streets, babe. I'm saying, girl, wreck your ground, let them know you're here to stay, babe. Yeah.
I grew here, you flew here. Our streets, our struggle can't be the same. I got the city's heartbeat playing, no games.
Like you know, I was born to lead this way.
No, I got it. No, I got it.
Okay, guys, we are live. All right, here we are, live on election night. What is up, everybody? It's time to look at these results. They are in, and we're going to talk about the craziness coming to an end here in Dalton. So I have not live streamed in a while, and the settings are going wonky. This is the second time that I've come on here, and I don't see my chat window, so you're going to have to help me out. But can I get an audio check? Make sure that you can hear me, and then we're going to start to talk about the action and go over these results. Let me put the glasses on. Okay, we got some people in the house, some of the good crew. Phoenix Blaze is in the house. Yay! NCD, there we go. Styles is in the house. Looking for Caroline. Where is Caroline? Caroline, come on and get back in here. We are live and ready to break down these results. Woo! Oh my goodness, these results are fantastic, and it looks like the SuperMayor has been kicked off of the throne. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it, guys? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? This is amazing. It looks like the village of Dalton has finally flushed the SuperMayor down the toilet. She's gone. A big fat turd has just been flushed down the toilet. And it looks like the future of Dalton starts tonight. Well, we do have the lame duck period that is coming in. She's going to be still in the seat for a couple of months, but what will happen next? That's one of the many things that we're going to discuss tonight. So first of all, let's just look at the results here and kind of see how well she did with the coming in on a landslide. She said that, of course, she was going to come in on a landslide like Donald Trump, but the problem is she's on the wrong end of the landslide. Whoops! Whoopsie daisy. She definitely did not call that out right. So here we are. Let's just hit the refresh so we can make sure these numbers are correct. Here it is right here. Mayor, Village of Dolton, the Democratic ticket. So we have a total of 17 out of 17 precincts reporting. Yay! The turnout was at 26.94%, nearly 27%, a lot better than 4 years ago. Okay, so wow, they bumped it up from 10% to 27%. And Jason House comes in on a landslide with 3,896 votes. Congratulations, Jason House, one of the good Democrats out there. He's on my list of good Democrats, and the SuperMayor has only gotten 536 votes. How sad that is. Now let's look at the rest of the list here. We've got Allison Key coming in at 3,490 votes. Yay! Over Tanika Hughes with 871 votes. Pretty good. 80% for Allison Key and just a tick under 20% for Tanika Hughes. And then the trustees. Check it out. Kiana Belcher coming in with 3,414 votes. The good Brittany Norwood leading the pack with 3,554 votes. And congratulations to the return of Ed Steve, coming in on a landslide with 335 votes of his own. Congratulations, Ed. I'm going to be looking forward to having you, Ed, on the show so we can knock down the results and just kind of take a look back and talk about how far we have come. So let's take a look at the pitiful numbers for the Crooney crew. The minions of Tiffany Henyard, Charles Rayburn, Jocelyn King, Vanessa Wesco, and Linda Terrell. 375 votes for Charles, 653 for Jocelyn. Not bad. 536 for Vanessa and 618 for Linda Terrell. Now, it's kind of funny that two of her three actually secured more votes than she did and one tied her. I mean, that's kind of sad. Just saying, kind of sad. So, wow, we are going to be looking at a very interesting lame duck period. The lame duck period is the time that the sitting mayor or president or governor, after an election is over, the time that is left before they're kicked out of office. And so I believe it's May is when the new mayor will come in, which will likely be Jason House, because this is just a primary, okay? So what this vote tells us is that Tiffany's out of there. She's out. She's flushed. She's down the toilet. It's a done deal. Jason House, I'm going to predict that he probably will win the election against the independent because they put in a lot of work. They put in that work. They got out in the streets. They talked to the residents. And I think the residents were fed up. I kind of predicted this. You saw the last video that I just posted today right before the election started. And I said that it probably will end in a landslide, but it's not going to be the landslide that SuperMayor Tiffany Henyard was expecting. She's on the wrong end of the landslide. She's at the bottom of the mountain and the rocks have fallen upon her head. And she'll probably be spending the night in the hospital. There's probably going to be a surgical team ready to pick all of the shards of rock out of her butt from the landslide. It's going to be tough. So definitely did not end up the way that she wanted to. But I know the first thing she's going to do is cry victim. And one thing that I expect the SuperMayor to do is to file a lawsuit. You better believe that that's the first order of business that she's going to do. She's going to cry foul. Foul ball. They cheated. They did me wrong. They didn't listen to me. They didn't give me a chance. I mean, I did my rap song, and, you know, to feed the people. Feed the people. Well, I guess there was only 536 people that wanted to continue to be fed the free food. And everyone else wants to move forward and grow the village and recover from the $6 million of damage, $6 million in the hole that she has cost the village through her reckless and just ridiculous spending. And she will be known for rapidly deploying these no-bid contracts, not allowing the trustees to be able to approve the contracts that are run through the village. So what she would do is usher in her friends and give them the ability to name their price. Come on in and cut these trees for $500,000. I think it was about over $1 million total. And instead of saying, okay, we're going to put this out for bid and award a contract to the lowest bidder, she would do a no-bid contract. And that is in direct violation of the rules, the village rules for awarding contracts. And so, of course, when you give someone a contract and allow them to name the price, you know what's involved. Kickbacks, allegedly. Okay, that's the big rub. So what would happen is the money would go out without the approval of the Board of Trustees. And then for the transactions that were approved, they would cut the checks, and then the checks would never be sent out. So she would be able to spend the money on the no-bid contracts and deplete the bank account before the approved contracts and the approved expenditures. Those checks were never even submitted to the bank. Kind of interesting. So one question that I have is, how's she going to be able to afford to hire a lawyer to file a lawsuit? Now, of course, we've got the boyfriend with his $10 million lawsuit. And honestly, I don't know why any attorney, any firm would even pick it up. Why? Because they know they're not going to get paid. Now, as I was watching the AK Cole channel last night, and when they were there at Village Hall, there was an interesting discussion being held between AK Cole and Kamala Woods. I call him Kamala now. It's my new name, Kamala Woods. And she was asking him, where'd you get the money for this BMW? Is this from the Thornton Township? Who's paying for it? And he said, well, it's my BMW. I paid for this with my own money. I make a lot of money. And then he says, well, do you know how many BMWs I've had? Do you know how many BMWs I've had? And then he went on to claim that he makes 6 figures, 7 figures. He's made 7 figures in the past. Now, my question is, how does he make that money? How do you make that money, Kamala Woods? 7 figures? What are you into? Are you into some distribution of products that aren't legal? Now, that's allegedly. Allegedly, I'm not making any accusations here. We don't want to make any false allegations. We don't like those false allegations. Well, at any rate, I wonder how he's going to be able to pay for that very nice BMW that he was rolling around in the parking lot last night. How's he going to pay for that? He's been fired from Thornton Township. No more 6-figure income for doing what? I don't know. God knows what. He's supposed to be the youth director, okay? But we never saw anything that he was doing with the youth. Where did that money go? Well, it went to the BMW. We know that for sure. So all of the Tahoes are gone. I guess all of those have been repossessed. And side note, in the rap video, did you notice how she was bragging about, I'm the one who rides around in Tahoes, feed the people. Now, how are you going to sit there bragging about you feed the people and you're this benevolent queen of the Thornton Township, but in the same breath, you start bragging about going to Vegas and driving around in Tahoes. See, that's the brain damage that's going on. That's a very high level of brain damage. I don't understand it. I really don't. Now, my next question that I'll be very interested to see how this plays out is this. What's going to happen to the FBI investigation? Now, first of all, if you saw my FBI report video, you will know why the FBI investigation has taken such a long time. And then there's another reason, and that is that politicians or those who are in control don't like to intervene in these types of issues during an election because they don't want to be accused of throwing an election. Well, this election's done. She's out. So there will no longer be an excuse for Boss Hog J.D. Pritzker. Boss Hog ain't going to be able to use that as an excuse. Kim Fox, none of them. They're not the Attorney General, Raul, what's his fruit. They can't say that they're sitting on their hands because they don't want to be accused of interfering in an election. So that goes out the window. And there's another big problem that they have. There's a change of administration on the federal level. The Democratic Party is no longer in control. Now, before, I know some of y'all are going to get all butthurt and upset because I'm talking about corrupt Democrats. Now, I just said that Jason House is on the list of good Democrats. There are good Democrats. Tulsi Gabbard was a good Democrat. I would have voted for her as president, but she did not make it through the primary. I do like Tulsi Gabbard. It's sad how they did her wrong. They chewed her up and spit her out and kicked her out of the party. I also like RFK. He was a good Democrat. They did the same thing to him. They did him wrong. They kicked him out. Now, at any rate, we have a major change in the FBI. We have Pam Bondi, who is the new United States Attorney General. We have Kash Patel, who is the head of the FBI, and now Dan Bongino has been awarded the role as Assistant Deputy Director of the FBI. And Dan Bongino does not play around when it comes to corruption. So any of the speed bumps, road bumps, blockades, anything that was stopping this investigation from coming to a close, those are all out the window. Now we'll have to wait and see if Dalton and Tiffany Henyard is in the radar for the new administration that is hell-bent on uncovering corruption. We will be watching that closely as time progresses during the next couple of months. And I think that once the lame duck period is over, we might see some action happen with the FBI investigation. Post in the comments below if you think we will see a change for the reasons I have presented to you as it relates to, as Tiffany always says, as it relates to the change in leadership. I don't think that it's going to bode well for her. Now, we know that the investigation is not just going to go away. If anything, I think it will draw more attention. Okay, Caroline is in the house. What's up, Caroline? Yay! You guys go and subscribe right now to Caroline's channel and watch the last video that she put up. I thought it was outstanding. She speaks her mind and doesn't hold back. So let's hit refresh on this one more time on the election results. Okay, so I guess we got all the precincts reporting 4,446 ballots. Congratulations, guys. You participated. You did it well. 3,896 votes for Jason House at 87.91%. The landslide is officially in. Okay, so is Tiffany Henyard going to disrupt the next couple of town hall meetings? What do you think? Will she even show up? Now, she skipped the Thornton Township meeting yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she was a no-show because she was over there gallivanting in Dalton. I think it was at the library where they were casting the ballots for the early voting. That's where the A.K. Cole coverage was taking place when she had confronted Kamal Woods. Very interesting conversation. If you have not seen that video, go and check it out. It was very entertaining, to say the least. I enjoyed that. Okay, so the next couple of months will be very interesting. And while some people are sad that the SuperMayor show will officially be over because she has been flushed down the toilet, I don't think we're going to be at a loss for material because we have a lot that's going to be coming forward. We're going to be able to watch what she has to say. We'll watch what happens when she immediately files a lawsuit. She's not going to just go out like this because, okay, let's look at this. No more $240,000 a year salary from the Thornton Township. No more $50,000 a year from Village of Dalton. No more kickbacks from your crooked illegal no bid contracts. Where's her income going to come from? And she's still facing the eviction. How's she going to pay her rent now? Now, mind you, I don't know what she's done with all that money. She spent it all on her hair, makeup, trips, big cars, fancy crap, but can't pay the rent. So where did all that money go? She should be a millionaire by now, multi-millionaire. If you're making nearly $300,000 per year, you should have millions of dollars in stocks, investments. We know that she's been involved in a lot of real estate dealings, crooked real estate dealings. Which, by the way, when I do this report on the destruction of Dalton, we will touch on some of the real estate dealings where it kind of looks like to me that she is a part of the problem with the destruction of the village. And I'm hoping that they can dodge that bullet. And the first step was getting her put out of office. But I'm going to show you something that happened years ago in a similar area in the city of Chicago, as we see the complete progression from start to finish of what could happen to the village of Dalton. And like I said, I hope they avoid that. So the next nice, well-done video that I'm going to do for you will be the documentary about the gentrification, about what happens over the years to areas like Dalton, where they start majority of the population is of one racial demographic, and then it kind of slowly starts to change, and then all of a sudden the area gets depressed, problems happen, crime comes in, and then you have a changeover where the buzzards start to fly overhead, and then the whole process starts again. So I'm going to get into that when I get this video done. I should have it done within the next few days, so be looking for that. Now, I still can't figure out where my window is so I can read the comments. So I'm going to try to scroll back and read the comments on my phone because I just don't know what the heck is going on here with the comments on my screen. So I'm going to try to scroll back and see what some of you have to say. Shout out to Phoenix Blaze member for 8 months. Yay! Yes, give her a round of applause. We do appreciate you for always being here. We got Patriot Chick is in the house. Angie's DIY is in the house. And she says that since she's gone, we don't have to worry about content. I'm actually looking for other communities to help get rid of the open air corruption by their leaders. Yeah, the corruption runs strong. I mean, we are dealing with the capital of corruption, the city of Chicago. #1 in the United States. It's not New York City and the mafia action there. No, the corruption is worse in the city of Chicago. They are the leaders. Phoenix Blaze says, I believe she has at least another 2 or 3 weeks in office, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, this was just a primary, and they still have to do the official. That is correct. Now, we know that Jason's probably going to win, but for sure we know that Tiffany is gone. She has been flushed. That turd has been flushed all the way down the toilet. All right, let's see if someone else has got some interesting comments here. Angie says, this is the most crucial time because Tiffany can go crazy up till the time of transition. And she might. She could be a disruptor, but I think that with the trustees that still have the majority, and we know that a certain trustee that is still dealing with some false allegations. Something he did that was really nasty. Very, very nasty. He's probably not going to show up and swing the vote. We know that Mr. Blue Black, Mr. Blue Black, that's what my man Cooking with Frank, shout out to Frank, refers to him as. He's probably not going to want to be pushing the vote for Tiffany to do anything nefarious. So I don't think she's going to be able to do anything. Now, Caroline brought up something interesting. She said that that's why she talked so much about voter suppression today, setting herself up for the lawsuit. Yes, indeed. My question is how are they suppressing the vote? I mean, she was feeding the people. If anything, Tiffany is the one who did the voter fraud. How are they suppressing any vote? The people are fed up. They're tired of it. And they came out in droves to flush her down the toilet. Now, maybe we should take a poll. Has anybody been suppressed? Post in the comments if you live in Dalton proper. If you're in the village of Dalton and you got suppressed tonight, let me know. I mean, what, did Kiana Belcher lock some people in their houses? Or did Ed Steve let all the air out of the people's tires who were going to go and vote for Tiffany? How did they do it? Maybe Jason House snuck in and he put some poison in those chitlin cups. So all the people who had their chitlin cups, they're sitting at home on the toilet. Yeah. They're sitting on the toilet because they got the dysentery from their spoiled chitlin cups. Maybe that's the voter suppression. I don't know, guys. Tell me. I don't know. Well, we'll see how that all works out. What is up? Bill Mack is in the house. Yay! My man John Luna is in the house. What up, John? Yay! Good to see you guys. It's been so long since I've gone live. I've been very, very busy. I have a packed schedule now because I run all my businesses and I take care of my elderly mother. I'm out at my mother's house 2 and 3 times a day taking care of her. And so, when things change, but I'm still trying to hang in there and pump out this content. And one thing that I'm really looking forward to doing is growing outside of Dalton, but I got to have you guys' participation, and I have an idea. I'm going to try to get the Chicago folks involved in other political discussions about topics that affect you. And we're going to have a special presentation where I'm going to get a discussion going. Since we have a lot of people that get butthurt whenever I say anything bad about Democrats, they accuse me of being one-sided. But for the Dalton residents who get upset about anything I say bad about a Democrat, I'm going to bring in the people from my old neighborhood. Shout out to Southside Chicago. Yay! From my neighborhood, 99th and LaSalle Street, there's a group of people, and they are all black, like me, and they created a group called Flip Chicago Red. And they came out in force for Donald Trump because they want to fight against the nefarious mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, after sitting through and suffering, watching him spend $500 million on illegal immigrants instead of investing into the problems that affect the black community. So I want to get a discussion going. And I'd like to, talk about this. I want to hear from you folks that get all upset with me about what you think about our black residents in Chicago City proper who are fed up with the damage that the local Democratic Party has done to the Chicago area. That's going to be coming up. Now, as I've always told you, I like to cover all corrupt politicians, not just Tiffany Henyard, not just Joe Biden, not just Kamala Woods. Kamala Woods. I cover them all. There are some corrupt Republicans that I'm going to be exposing who seem to think that we should waste all of our taxpayer money on a war that we should never have been involved in from the jump. We're going to talk about a lot of that. Okay, I'm not going to have on a MAGA hat, and I definitely won't have a blue hat on. I've been a card-carrying Democrat. I've been a card-carrying Republican. And since then, I've just gotten rid of the cards. What I do now, I write down my values. Make a list of your values. So instead of calling me names, I want you to write down your values. And then we'll have an intelligent discussion about our differences in our values. And then maybe we can find common ground instead of name calling. We had an imbecile who called me a Trump chump. You sound like one of them Trump chumps. That's what he said. I'm a Trump chump because I was saying bad things about them Democrats. You sound like a Trump chump. Well, at any rate, I stand on my values, all right, and they don't fit within one party or the other. Okay, so I'll be looking forward to discussing those things with you. All right, so anyhow, I can't wait until tomorrow morning to see what the breaking news has to tell us. We already had a video, I think it was WGN News, where Tiffany was complaining, saying that she was done wrong, and they were suppressing the votes, the complaining, the excuses. They have already started. So tomorrow should be an interesting day. Very interesting indeed. But I'm excited, and congratulations, residents. Congratulations. You made it. You did it. You did it. You got Jason House up there, the good Democrat, and I think Jason House has good values, and the best value that Jason House has is honesty. He's not a thief. I don't predict that Jason House will be taking any kickbacks. I don't know if he's got a bad bone in his body. He just seems like a very honest individual. And Jason House, you are invited to come on the Go Political show for an interview anytime. I would love to have you on. Now, Ed Steve, you're required, okay? You're required to get back in touch with me and let me know when you're going to come on so we can take a look back and talk about everything that has transpired. And Ed, I want you to share your vision for Dalton moving forward. I want to hear from you of what you and the rest of the trustees, and I'm going to call him future mayor because I think he's going to make it. I want to hear what the plans are for how you're going to dig out of this hole. I know you guys can do it. And I've even heard that there is a possibility that the state can come in to provide assistance for that $6 million deficit that is a result from the nefarious SuperMayor Tiffany Henyard. So I think that would be a good use of taxpayer dollars because the people don't deserve that. They don't. And I think that the governor should feel partially responsible for what has gone on because he never stepped in to put a stop to it. None of them did. So then he should work that into his budget, into the state budget, to help bail out the village of Dolton, since he didn't see fit to help out at all. Okay, so anyway, Angie says, the misinformation has my Chicago family going crazy about President Trump because there's so much misinformation going on. Yeah, there is. I mean, a lot of people are losing their minds. They're going crazy. They're panicking. You had the Elon Musk email that went out where he said, tell me what you've been doing for the last 5 days or you're fired. And so it kind of came across like a bully move. You know, that was pretty mean of him to do that. But then I got to thinking about it. When I worked for the state, I had to tell about what I was doing for the previous week for the entire 29 years that I worked for the state. I had to do a performance appraisal. I had to do a performance plan. I had to account for everything I did in full detail, every hour of time that I spent, and I had to associate that time with each project that I worked on. Otherwise, I probably would have been fired. So how are these federal employees complaining that someone has asked them to justify what they've done in the last week? Now, I'll tell you why he did it. Elon Musk sent out that email to root out the ones that are just taking a check and not doing any work. Okay, so the people who are actually working and looking at their email, they responded so he could figure, yeah, they're probably working. He's not going to fire them. But the ones who don't respond, well, those are the ones that are probably riding along and not doing any work. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, there's a lot of panic going on about this whole issue of getting rid of the Federal Department of Education. My wife is a teacher, And she said that a lot of the teachers are scared half out of their wits because we have a lot of Title I schools that they seem to think that they're going to be defunded. But here's the thing. They're not going to suffer. So if the Department of Education is gotten rid of, all of the money is going to go straight to the states. So I truly believe that the state of Missouri, we know where that money needs to go, and we're not going to neglect our Title I schools. And in fact, we know more than the bureaucrats in Washington where that money needs to go. So I say, get rid of the Federal Department of Education and send the money here. There's billions of dollars there, and a lot of it is being wasted. So let it go. Send us the money. Our past governor was very supportive of education. He was a Republican governor. The one before that, who was a Democratic governor, was very supportive of education. Our new governor, Mike Kehoe, is very supportive of our state's education. And so when we are given the federal funds, if the Federal Department of Education is cut and that money comes to us, I trust our governor to use that money well and put it where it needs to be. And I think he has a much better idea of where that money should go than the federal government. So we're not going to lose anything. We've seen a lot of other crazy things go on. We were told that the Trump administration was going to cancel Black History Month. Oh, everybody was just outraged. And then a few days ago, we saw on TV where Donald Trump did a Black History Month celebration day and announced that he's going to construct a new park where there are going to be statues of several Black Americans in history that will be honored with statues in a park. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that celebration. So a lot of the fear-mongering that went on about the cancellation of Black History Month, well, that went out the window. And the fear-mongering continues on. And I think we'll be okay. Everything always works out. And when you think about it, how many presidents have said that they're going to tackle this problem of fraud and waste only to be stopped dead in their tracks? Bill Clinton came in saying he was going to cut fraud and waste, fraudulent spending, and I think that he was sincere about doing it, but he didn't get it done. George Bush said he was going to cut fraud and wasteful spending. He didn't get it done. He fed into the military machine, and we had a lot of fraudulent spending looking for weapons of mass destruction, where he even laughed and joked, and he said, what? Well, they were never there. Big deal. And then you had Barack Obama, who sincerely came in and said that he was going to go line by line through the federal budget and cut billions of dollars of waste. He wasn't able to accomplish it. There's something called the deep state that wasn't having it. Well, Joe Biden came in saying the same thing, but he only doubled down and multiplied the fraud and the wasteful spending. So now we finally have Donald Trump, who really isn't a traditional Republican. He was a Democrat. He's an outsider. And so now they're taking an axe to the federal budget. He's the first one that's actually doing the cuts after promising to cut fraudulent spending. It's been 20 years, 30 years since I've been voting for presidents. We've been hearing people say that they're going to come in and cut fraudulent spending, and none of them have been able to get it done. It'll be painful for a while, and I do feel sorry for a lot of the federal employees who have lost their jobs. It'll be bad for a while, but I think overall our tax money is going to be spent on the right things, and it's going to take a lot of pain to get through this, but we're probably going to emerge victorious on the other end. Now, Dalton is a microcosm of what's going on federally. We saw what Tiffany Henyard did in the last 4 years in Dalton and in the Thornton Township. Rampant fraudulent spending, rampant waste, kickbacks, illegal contracts, illegal. And the same thing goes on in the federal government, but you can multiply the numbers by 1,000. Instead of talking about millions of dollars being wasted, it's billions and even trillions, okay? It's on a massive scale. So everything that you residents of Dalton have seen that has taken place, they're right in your community, okay? That's what's been happening on the federal level as long as I've been alive. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, here's the truth of the situation. As long as you have elected officials and politicians, there will be thieves and fraudulent spending, because they're not all like Jason House. They're not all honest politicians. He's one of the few. They're not all like Ed Steve, okay? They're not all good stewards like Kiana Belcher, okay? The trustees, the good trustees, are three good ones, Kiana and Brittany Norwood and Ed Steve. They're not all like that. A lot of people get into these positions, and the first thing they do is get kickbacks and spend money on their local communities. They'll get a bill passed. They'll put an earmark in and say, okay, for this $1 billion bill to pass, you got to include $100 million for my hometown, because we got this new rec center that we want to build. So we're just going to sneak that on in there. That's how politics works, okay? Patriot Chick brought up USAID. Yeah, USAID, it's not aid. Can you tell me what USAID, what does it stand for? The acronym stands for something, and it's not some benevolent organization. It's a way that people can funnel in money and get massive, massive kickbacks. It's a house of fraud. They do a few good things, but the good things that are going on will continue to go on. Those activities will be moved to agencies that are under a different rooftop, and then all the rest of it is going to be cut out. Okay, so we're gonna see things being uncovered, and I think it is going to spill over. And I think that now that the change has taken place, and we already know that the FBI and ICE has Chicago in their radar. Okay, Tom Homan has already been there. He's bent on getting all of the convicts, the convicted felons, the illegal aliens that have committed heinous crimes. He's already bent on getting all them deported. Okay, so he knows what's going on in Chicago. They know about the corruption in the city of Chicago. So Dalton is a stone's throw from where they've already touched down and started to do their work. So you better believe that Tiffany Henyard, oh man, I don't see any good news coming your way with this new administration coming in. And I think that they're quickly going to have you on the radar. So you better lawyer up if you can afford it. Maybe you can get the, what do they call the free attorney, the public defender. You're going to have to get the public defender to help you out of this mess. So it's going to be interesting. All right. Is the chat okay? It seems to be lagging. Yeah, I don't know. The chat is not moving very quickly. I don't know what's going on there, but at any rate, okay. So Angie said it's the U.S. Administration of International Development. It's not international aid. This is a way that they develop things in other countries for political reasons. Okay, like Sesame Street in the Middle East, because they're wanting to influence kids of our way of life. It really didn't work. I mean, you still have the same terrorism that's going on. So anyway, I think it's a way that the CIA has been using this as a means of doing, what is the word? I can't think of the word. It's stuck in my mind. But it's a way that the United States can meddle in foreign affairs and influence people to fight against the regimes, the governments that are enemies of the U.S. But some of them are really bad that they're helping. And the things that we see the CIA do, they're not always on the up and up. So that's what that's all about. All right. Well, I got some work to do. I got to get to the shop. I got a lot of projects happening there. But I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. I'll do another live very soon, and look for my next video, the destruction of Dalton. And I'm going to try to be a little bit more frequent and cover the events and the developments. The next Dalton board meeting will probably need to go live, especially if the SuperMayor, well, she's not super anymore, the mayor, the lame duck mayor, if she happens to show up. So be looking for that. That's all I've got for now. So thank you guys for watching. This is Carlton, and I am out.
Ain't no game, babe, I'm rooted like the trees, yeah. Gonna rise above, watch me claim my streets, babe. Gonna rise above, watch me claim my streets, babe. I'm saying, girl, wreck your ground, let them know you're here to stay, babe. Yeah.
I grew here, you flew here. Our streets, our struggle can't be the same. I got that city's heartbeat playing no games.
Like you know, I was born to lead this way.
No, I got it.